This is what teams are going to be playing for. 445 euros to the winning team, 1,000 platinum each to everyone on the second place team, 500 to the third place team. So huge thank you to Omeda Studios, and also for those donating to the prize pool. Shout outs to R Dog, the Snoop, and an anonymous donator who does not wish to be named, but thank you so much for your contributions. Draft is in front of us, Efsixx, and let's go into a little bit more detail with these teams, because honestly, I think for the Rocket Rookies, the storyline that we've got to start with is Gak. He's had a
Yeah.
phenomenal group stage matchup. He has been lighting up from that duo lane. It's got to wait to see if he can carry it on when it matters.
I mean, he definitely is a force to be reckoned with, and I think he's going to be able to pull that out today. If his team's able to continue to kind of play around him, I think Omelette Du Baguette is going to kind of have a little bit of a rough time trying to keep him on the wraps here.
Yeah, I think that the big one to mention as well is that, when Gak's playing well, the team plays well. But if Gak's not performing well or has a bit of a slow
Mhm.
start, those other four players as well having to step up a little bit as well. But this is a playoff bracket when it's going to happen. But one thing I want to start with for Omelette Du Baguette is going to take away the Richter as the first ban. Is I don't think we have a more prepared team than Omelette Du Baguette. Shout outs to our friend and colleague Mugiwawa. This is his team, and if anyone knows Mugi and knows what he does on the stream as well, reviewing these scrims, I think Omelette Du Baguette have been run through a gauntlet in preparation for this matchup.
I think so too. We do know Moogie's definitely into the books, into the weeds of understanding how this game works, how heroes work. And we all know that draft is the first part of the battle. And Moogie, this is where his strength is going to lie, focusing with his team. And I think this is where they have the upper hand. And if they can start out strong through their drafts, they might be able to take it into the game and kind of win just throughout having the better heroes and the better team comp to go into that. As we do see, though, Rocket Rickies take out Gideon out of the match here, trying to kind of just focus on that mid lane.
Yeah, so let's have a little look more at kind of the heroes that we're expecting here. I mean, one of them, I wasn't going to start with a Rampage, but the King of the Jungle, I think we're going to start there. At least Rampage has kind of been having a bit of a renaissance, a bit of a revival of his status as the King of the Jungle. Chimera has been thrown to the wayside. Rampage is back, and he has honestly been dominating these games. I'm not surprised to see a bit of priority that way.
I mean, when you talk about that rock, that stun, even though it's slightly a little bit less at the max level, still is a long stun inside the game. And being stunned like that, CC locked down, is not fun to have. And I mean, with that small little buff against with his rumble, kind of allowed him to become the back into that spot, into that limelight, and be that jungler.
Yeah, they're going to be responded to by Rocket Rookies with their first two picks. Quang has honestly just came onto the scene and has been dominating. Quang, I think, has been in either picked or banned in every single game that we've seen so far in Fangbooth. Performs in the solo lane, performs in the jungle as well. There have been some rumors, some rumblings of the Quang support, and I've even seen Quang being tried out in mid lane as well. So honestly, it feels like such an EU pick to bring something crazy like that out. But Bellic are going to be joining the Quang. But what do you make of the newest hero to Omeda's roster for this game, Six?
He's a god gift from heaven. He comes down, that tether is probably almost as bad as the rampage is fraught. So being able to match that early on, and like you pointed out, able to be able to flex in multiple different roles, kind of just brings such a unique presence to him. The very few characters, very few heroes are able to do that. And speaking of, Lieutenant Bellica is one of those, able to flex into the mid lane, able to flex his support as well, and kind of just rounds out team comp. So right now for Rocket Rookies, they have a lot of flex going on their side.
Yeah, definitely some good draft etiquette I want to highlight here. Not really revealing your hand too early, but Omelette Du Baguette, though,
Mhm.
seem to have already locked in some of these picks. I mean, Rampage, into the jungle, Sevrog being picked up as well, so it's most likely going to be Sevrog in towards the off lane as well. Quite an early pickup for the Sevrog. Normally, we're seeing Sevrog kind of drop a little bit further down to the draft. It's almost like teams
Mhm.
wanting to see how the enemy composition is playing out before locking in the big Grim Reaper in that off lane.
I mean, also one of the things that can be happening for Omelette Bega right here is they're trying to lock in some comfort picks, something that they know they're going to need. As with Rampage, you kind of have that early game pressure, so you can go with the Sevrog in the offlane, kind of slow roll that side of the map, and you can be able to use the Rampage to pressure out either the mid lane or into the duo lane, kind of get that ahead. Meanwhile, Sevrog has that time, could kind of stay back, let him farm up a little bit, and get into that mid to late game to become a nuisance.
Third pick is going to be that Decker, secured for Omelette Du Baguette. Just waiting on Rocket Rookies for their third pick as well. But I do actually quite thinking about this server and also trying what we're expecting from this Omelette Du Baguette side as well. You know, with Mugiwawa honestly calling kind of the decisions as well. Are expecting some pretty stellar macro play. So even just having that late game insurance policy in that Sevarog to really make sure that these fights, especially in the jungle, if this game goes the distance, we've had some pretty quick games in the group stage, about 24-25 minutes on average. But now in playoffs, historically, we're going to be seeing some 30-minute games, maybe even 35, upwards to 40 minutes. EU does not disappoint with the predecessor watch time. Decker secure from Omelette Du Baguette. Rocket Rookies going to pick up the Drongo for Gak, getting him that comfort pick before the second round of the ban phase, and they're going to take away the Howitzer from the mid lane.
I think that was a great pickup by Omelette to pick up that Decker. Provides a lot of utility, able to engage, able to help disengage. But that Gag getting onto that Drongo, we know that comfort pick. We know he has also a weird, kind of spicy, different build when he builds into that Drongo with that Vanquisher. So excited to see if he's going to bring that out one more time. But the Howitzer ban, like I said, they kind of limited their mid lane over Omelette. They don't have the Belka, they don't have the Gideon or the Howitzer. So it's going to be a very small pool for them to pick from. But they do take out the Chimera, trying to shorten the pool over by Rocket Rookies on their jungler.
For sure here. I think, that's probably the call they're expecting Quang into the off lanes. They're trying to target that jungle pick. But just thinking of what's still available here, we still have like the Steel, for instance, still available on the board. Could even go for maybe even some of the split pushes that we've been seeing as well, like so that Shinbi, that Feng Mao, Zarus as well. Honestly, another huge pick from Omeda's unique hero, making a stomp in their first appearances, and honestly a staple pick in the competitive scene. But the Rocket Rookie is going to decide to go for the Greystone in this first game.
It's a good pickup. It's probably going to be pushed off. This was another hero that can be flexed. So we don't necessarily know who we're going to have into the offlane or the jungle just quite yet. But that Greystone bringing in that extra life, being able to be a backline diver, able to kind of just force the enemy team to try and get resources out before the big engagement starts is a really good pickup for them. But still to be noted, they need someone that's going to be able to peel for that backline. Gak's going to need somebody there to help them out. And right now with the Quang and the Greystone, they don't really have too much. They do have the Belka knockup, but that's something you want to kind of save for her to have to help peel her in order to get an initiation off.
Yeah, so kind of would maybe expecting that Bellica to actually be in the supporting role as well, providing that seismic assault for that protection for Drongo, as you say. So still waiting on the mid lane for Rocket Rookies, for SimmyGoesHard is what we're expecting. Omelette Du Baguette, though, going to secure mid laner for Romawear. I believe this is the gadget pick. Does feel like a very comfortable pick for them as well, especially with Gideon and Howitzer taken off the board. So that mid lane hero pool has already been pinched quite considerably this game, but there's a bit of a nasty wombo combo starting to develop here from that Du Baguette.
Yeah, especially when they pick up that Twin Blast, indeed, kind of have going in with the extra pace of the auto attacks, trying to fight against this Drongo. He's gonna have a little bit of tough time if he's trying to 1v1 him, especially with those rad rounds. But nonetheless, though, the fact that he's there to be able to continuously just be able to be a presence, be able to nuisance, and the mobility and the range that he has with the ventilate, with the vortex grenade, kind of allows him to be in a safer position.
I think with this dive coming out from this Quang and this Greystone, and also, adding a Muriel on top to provide that global presence as well, the AoE knock up in these team fights. Going to need all the mobility you can get on that Twin Blast, and with that safety. A lot of pressure, I think, is going to be on this Decker pick as well to really protect that Twin Blast. But the Rocket Rookies, that Muriel is going to be their last pick, rounding off both of these compositions. So that means the Bellica going into the mid lane instead of that supporting role.
And that's going to close it out. But with that Muriel pick, though, that's going to be something a little bit spicy because now they kind of assured themselves they don't really have too much of appeal. So they're going to be looking to either get these picks early off or trying to be in the middle, kind of contained team fight, trying to have everybody kind of close together, being able to get the Muriel shield to everybody else, or using the Muriel ult just to kind of get a good initiation off, whether the Greystone dies or the Quang dies on top of that, just kind of get a big knock up to start that initiation for that fight. But Muriel providing that sustain is going to be something that's going to be either great or not so great, depending on when and how it's used.
Well, it is what we're looking to find out as well. So a lot of pieces have been put on the board for both of these teams. As we're just going to wait a little bit longer to go in towards the game as well. We're getting that ready on the back end so we can transition. Just having a look at these compositions, especially with that dive coming out for him. I'm looking on the side of Omelette Du Baguette, so we're expecting, that gadget might be a bit of a priority pick to look for these dives, especially thinking, that's early to mid game, early Fang 2 fights, mini prime fits. What are you
Hmm.
thinking, Six?
Yeah, she's definitely going to be a powerhouse when it comes to those neutral objective fights. She's going to be able to bring that Tesla dome, the microwave, as we like to call it, to be able to kind of create a zone that the enemy does not want to be in and kind of create a big space separation for Rocket rookies. And if they have enough time and enough separation, they might be able to either get the smite off or might just be able to throw enough damage onto that team fight to turn the fight into their direction.
Well, we're going to find out. Game number 1 is ready. So we're going to transition down to the battleground and we're going to see how this game is going to go. Let us know in the Twitch chat your predictions. Where do your allegiances lie? Rocket Rookies are going to be your team on a blue side. Omelette Du Baguette over on the red side as well. We're going to be into the battleground for this one very shortly. A little look at the scoreboard as well to reveal where those picks are going to go. And it looks like it's InkLegend going to be taking the Greystone into the jungle. So Tarkraf Requiem secures themselves the Quang in the off lane.
Quang in the offlane versus the Sevrog's gonna have that kind of just early pressure when it comes off into that. We being able to trade with his shield, being able to trade with his passive on his autos, allow him to have that pressure. But like we talked about, that Sevarog coming to the mid to late game, if he's allowed to even stay even or even just slightly behind, that's going to be a big tide change and a power change when it comes towards those mid team fights, especially when the big orb prime and the primordial feint is up in the air.
Absolutely. There's a lot of fireworks that's going to be around these objective fights. So it's in those tight jungle corridors. And a lot of those kind of big moments from the group stage have also happened around the Fangtooth and around that Orb Prime, whether it be imports kind of just waltzing in and taking every objective known to man, even when he's not even on the team and just stealing it away, or inside of the Rocket Rookies, thinking back to that group stage game against the North American Rejects. Sorry to remind you about that 1-6, but I feel it's a bit pertinent. That collapse outside, just in that tight jungle corridor, lot to look forward to. So let's go into the lane matchups. We spoke a little bit about the Muriel pickup against this Twin Blast in the Deca lane, and we just need a little bit of time for maybe Gak and Samwise to get online with that duo lane.
Not necessarily. We saw that Samiriel went with the Serenity there to go start it off. So they're going to have that extra pressure when it comes to having that power, being able to hit that on top of the wave, using that to clear with the boomerang. It's going to create so much pressure, especially early game when it comes towards that. That's what you're seeing. You saw that in the first wave, and you're going to see it here again as they're being able to out pressure Mugi and Kira here. And they're going to have that level 2 advantage. So they do need to be careful as they might be able to miss a mini or two.
Yeah, already going for the respect, but keeping an eye on the jungle as well as PuzzledPanda on the rampage, sticking around in the red side, but some good warding coming out from the Rocket Rookies to at least give away they know exactly where that rampage is. You can just see the ward at the back of that jungle camp as well. And just going to allow the dual lane and the mid lane to play with a bit more freedom as well.
Definitely a great warning coming out from Rocket Rookies, but not as much as Omelette, as they don't really have it over on that right side, over into that offlane side of the map. But as we do here, when it comes to level 2, though, they've seen that pressure, that boomerang, being able to get that poke. But once level 3 hits, Mugi on that deck is going to have his full kit available to him. And if he's able to get those lockdown, he might be able to change his pressure going into the fight. But with that amount of pressure, they don't need to have that happen. As we see Panda looking for a nice little gank, possibly over here on Simmy.
Going to pick up the boulder as well, looking on towards Simmy. Boulder's going to connect. Romawear already closing the gap. Blink is going to be burned. First gank successful for PuzzledPanda, burning the Blink. But that Greystone still sniffing around, is in the vicinity for those 3-minute river camps. They're going to back away, but a Blink down on the Bellica.
That's not what you want within the first 3 minutes of the game. Having your blink down on Bellica with probably one of the most, the least mobility in the game. But do you see Tarkraf having a little bit of pressure against this Sevrog that we talked about, allowed him to get a peek inside that jungle. But he needs to be careful as he's in enemy territory as of current.
Yeah, and PuzzledPanda did throw out the boulder as well, not quite connecting and finding its mark. That means the Tarkraf Requiem can keep up that pressure in the right-hand side. I'm just wondering, going back to the draft 6 as well, we spoke about, this Greystone and the Quang. have that flex
Mhm.
potential. Do you think this was the right combination to take against his team? Greystone jungle, Quang off lane?
I think so. When it comes towards Greystone, him in the jungle, not having to deal with that lane, he's able to apply a lot of pressure. The slow that he has in his kit, with he's using his ignite, is just so tremendous, especially when trying to get a gank. As he's looking over into his dual lane right here, and Moon needs to be careful.
Yeah,
With
it doesn't
rocket
really
boots,
have
though.
this. Yeah, it doesn't have the setup, and Mugi is just a little bit too slippery to get away just yet. And we've not really spoken about that as well with the Greystone jungle. The bit of the weakness is that you have relying on the setup. I mean, mid lane's covered. SimmyGoesHard, Seismic Assault can set up any gank, and also on the right hand side, that Judgment of
Mhm.
the Heavens tether is there. But this dual lane not really got any hard CC to really deal with. So it's going to be an interesting one to see if they decide to keep ganking over on this dual lane.
Might be good, but we do know where PuzzledPanda is going. As look for Simmy one more time.
Yeah, he's got no blink as well as he's got to avoid that speed trap, having to sidestep it, but PuzzledPanda jumps forward, closing the gap. Bit of the juke boots, trying to make the moves, trying to move on the PuzzledPanda's rampage, but SimmyGoesHard is going really hard into opposing territory. He's going to give him the loop around boulder toss, going to connect up on top of the rope. Seismic Assault buys time, Sticky Mine down to 25 HP. Can Simmy get away? No, he can't. First blood going to be secured by Romawear for Omelette Du Baguette.
Able to use the Twinkle Toes to try and buy some time, but not enough. With that blink down, is just not good to go. As Panda looking for another gank as he got one successfully in the mid.
Oh, boulder toss, stasis bomb, the blink to follow, looking for the rumble, but Samwise got a bit too much distance. But it's going to be forced to blink, maybe. Kira looking for the grenade, he's going to find it with the vortex, and that's a kill onto the support. What a start from that dude Baguette, and PuzzledPanda is leading the charge.
And this is where we're seeing that draft come in handy here. We talked about that early game pressure that Rampage has with that rock, and we've seen it twice in this matter of seconds. Able to get that gank in mid lane and move straight on over to the dual lane. Doesn't even go to his jungle to farm to be able to pick up that secondary kill. And Omelette Du Baguette with a strong start indeed.
They're definitely looking in the ascendancy here. 6 minutes gone with only the 2 kills. Silox does have to be careful. Level 6 having to be respective as Tarkraf Requiem ticks over to have that ultimate available. And again, a lot of pressure on the right-hand side, but neither jungler really making any moves towards it. It's still in the 4v4 and dual lane and also in that mid lane as well.
I mean, that's what we wanted from Omelette Du Baguette, right? We knew that Severog was going to have a hard time, especially with the roster that we saw that Rocky rookies were able to pick up. But the fact that he's maintaining, he's not dying, he's surviving, he's able to kind of just keep himself just quite enough in the game to where he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And to mark my words, when that 15, 16-minute mark hits, get into a little bit more of that mid stage of the game, he's going to become a little bit stronger than his Quang. And it's going to show that difference, especially when these 4v4 fights and these 5v5 full-on team fights start. So PuzzledPanda and Ink meet up in this right side jungle, looking to kind of run away, not trying to get any pressure out of side of Panda, trying to keep this game slow, looking for another possible rotation as he looks to try and probably go back to his blue side here.
Yes, did think about the gank towards the left-hand side. I mean, the vision coming down from Omelette Du Baguette is going to completely scout that out. But InkLegend actually going to push forward into the red side jungle. It looks like that's just based on the vision. Look at that ward, blue side for the Rocket Rookies onto Omelette Du Baguette. You know, able to see where PuzzledPanda is. InkLegend still sniffing around, but not being able to find that impact. I mean, granted, you know, he doesn't really have a boulder that he can just pick up from the ground and throw it. Meanwhile, right-hand side, again, the pressure starting to mount up here. Tarkraf Requiem just forcing Silox underneath his tower.
I mean, that's some pressure coming out. He kind of dodged the tether, though, and able to hit that subjugate. Does not just choose a slither there to try and maybe use the colossal blow to knock him up there. But now, InkLegend level 6, this is where you start to see those aggressive plays come out. He has that extra life. Stoneforge Soul coming in hand. Might be able to kind of dive a tower, keep that aggro, keep that sustained damage on him to maybe possibly get a full tower dive over on this dual lane.
You know, I wonder if he's going to let him be a bit more dangerous as well with his plays. PuzzledPanda with the gank over to solo side this time. Tarkraf Requiem, the target. The boulder has already connected. Silox is not around to provide the subjugate, but PuzzledPanda's going to go for this one. Pops the big mode. Blink going to come out from Tarkraf Requiem to jump forward underneath the tower. Waiting for the boulder to hit. He's going to find it. PuzzledPanda with a solo bolo. He's going to take down the Quang in the off lane.
Panda is on a streak, and he's here to play today. We talked about that draft diff, and it is definitely showing once again. But with that gank, him showing on the map, able to just have InkLegend go over towards that Fang to be able to get that pressure, but Belica needs to be careful here.
Silox in comfort rotation. Boulder going to catch him. Tesla Stone coming down, just burning through all that HP. And that's going to be Simmy dropping in the mid lane. It's going to be a trade, though. Left-hand side, Rookies did pick up that first Fangtooth. But all over the board, PuzzledPanda just finding these kills, finding a connection, and even getting another rotation from this Sevarog. And they're straight onto the mini prime.
And being able to trade that mini prime is going to kind of negate that Fangtooth for a little bit, as they still have 2 more to go. And right now, like you said, those rocks are hitting, those boulders are making connections. As Mugi's over here keeping an eye on InkLegend, possibly trying to steal the blue buff, and does not get it. But the pressure coming out of Omelette Du Baguette here is just outstanding. They're making all the right calls, they're making all the right moves. And if this keeps up, Rocket Rookies are going to be in for a bad game.
Yeah, maybe that takeoff is going to be a little bit delayed. I mean, I did mention this beforehand. You know, if Gak has a bit of a slow start, it's on the other members to try and make up and get to that late game. You know, Tarkraf Requiem with all the pressure sitting on the death and with a blink expended PuzzledPanda going to come down here for yet another gank. It's a second move over towards the solar side. Tarkraf Requiem pulling away from this gang. Omelette Du Baguette not really committing to the play on towards this Quang. He's still sticking around, still becoming a nuisance. Actually playing with fire, goes for the surge, goes for the knockup. Silox does not have the mana. Neither does PuzzledPanda, doesn't have their health. They're going to back away, but a lot of time being wasted on that right side.
A lot of time indeed. The fact that Silox did not have the mana there to be able to fight that kind of negated anything that Panda wanted to do. But nonetheless, able to get some pressure into that lane to allow to at least get some health down on top of that Quang is going to be able to slightly get the pressure down. But with that mini orb prime buff on Sevarog, though, he's going to have that push pressure. He's going to come back to the lane a lot healthier. And Tarkraf is going to have to be a little bit careful when he goes in. As we do see, though, the Brimstones and the Fire Blossoms are in play as these big characters are trying to get these damages off in those team fights.
Yeah, just get that passive AoE damage down. Just having a little look around. I also saw Romawear picking up his first item, going for the time warp. SimmyGoesHard looking for the more stacking option, you know, trying to get that Azure Core online as well. Fire Blossom completed by Tarkraf Requiem once again. As you do get a little bit of a lull state, and I only said that because PuzzledPanda has got bored of ganking and looking towards his own jungle camps. Requiem has to be careful, though. I mean, Silox is just starting to wail with the hammer. The tether comes down, but doesn't need it. Silox is going to find a solo kill of his own. InkLegend was there, but not in time to save his squad.
He tried to bait it out as long as possible, but the tether did land, but the subjugate was a little bit more. As PuzzledPanda is actually on this right side, forcing a blink on Drongo. Stasis Ball does miss, though, so everything else is thwarted. Gak with the blink down, though, it's not going to be a good time for him because PuzzledPanda might be able to revisit another time here.
Well, I mean, if PuzzledPanda's spending more time in these lanes than his actual jungle farming, you can expect him to be knocking on the door of duo lane once again. And, you know, Mugi as well, that stasis bomb did go wide after that play. A bit of a rare miss in this game because Mugi's been on point with those stasis bombs. And, you know, Kira Stardust on this Twin Blast been reaping the rewards, already got the kill, and definitely playing with a lot more freedom than Gak on that Drongo.
Indeed. As we see Romawear, though, we haven't seen too much of these mid laners. The only thing we've seen is Panda being able to just gank this Bell go over and over. And we can't wait to see these two inside of these bigger fights as we get a little bit closer into that mid game. Take another look, though. Samwise with that Marshall. Vanquisher is unlocked for Gak, so that's going to be a big player if he's able to get somebody low enough. But I'm kind of questioning Simmy here on that alchemical rod, going into more of a stacking, more of trying to get into the later game of things when we know Belica is with that huge burst, but Panda hitting that boulder very quick.
He's trying to make it a hat trick of ganks on the right-hand side. Good surge, good double knockup from Tarkraf Requiem. Actually getting the shield. Silox going very low, but can't find the chase potential. Now PuzzledPanda has Behemoth and Tarkraf Requiem having to duke this out, trying to delay another surge, another knockup. But PuzzledPanda in big mode, looking to make this another kill on towards Tarkraf Requiem. Gonna find it, and he stands over Quang's dead body. That's gonna be a screenshot that goes hard, but another kill, and that's the 6th on the board for Omelette Du Baguette.
Get this man a medal, best jungler we've seen. He's been going hard. Mugi with the peel, but Panda with another successful gank. And he's just having a game today. Romawear all looking over in this duo lane, but InkLegend is here to maybe thwart any type of gank coming out.
See that with the level 10 as well, picking up that green buff on the 30-minute river buff as well. Just for, a bit of an opportunistic look maybe to that left-hand side. No, we are 14 minutes in. Second Fangtooth is on the board. PuzzledPanda on this left-hand side. Silox also being brought over, and InkLegend having to jump away. Still has ultimates available. He's trying to run. He's trying to buy some time. Not sure whether everyone wants to commit to it. Reverse the force is going to come down. They're going to try and turn this fight. The Rocket Rookies looking to make the play. Containment Fence going to come down. The Stoneforge Soul providing that slow. But the Tesla Dome starts to buy some space. The zoning coming out, and Rocket Rookies have to call off the play for only a moment. But Tarkraf Requiem is here with Simmy, with Samwise. They're looking towards Mugi, but they can't find the pick. PuzzledPanda with another blink. Is actually with a blink forward, looking for the tether. Not going to find it, having to try and get away. The lockdown comes up, and Tarkraf Requiem having to get away. A lot of action, a lot of posturing. Simmy looking to find a kill on towards Romawear, who keeps himself alive. InkLegend goes in, but he can't get out. And that's Omelette Du Baguette finding another kill, but they're still on the hunt. SimmyGoesHard hits another seismic assault, but the mana's too low. The health is too low. They're going to have to back away for the kill on towards that Several.
Gadget popping the epoch, standing there just ready to die. But Panda said, no, not today. This is my mid laner. Able to get that rock off, able to actually trade that kill. And what a turnaround for Omelette Du Baguette. And meanwhile, the 1v1 where we thought Drongo would have the advantage versus Twin Blast, we had him, Kira, just being able to apply that pressure, and actually was winning that and forcing the Drongo to back to be able to get that pressure over on side of that duo lane as they look towards the second Fangtooth with a lot of resources down on Rocket Rookies, but also Omelette Du Baguette. We're going to see who gets the first push on top of this objective.
They don't have the Tesla Dome at play. Looks like PuzzledPanda still has Behemoth. But again, ultimates have also been burned for Rocket Rookies, as you mentioned. The Tether's going to connect onto PuzzledPanda, but the Surge can't find the knockup. Gak dealing with Mugiwawa on the left-hand side. Boulder's going to fall short, not finding the stun. And Omelette Du Baguette going to call off this play for now, but is still sticking around. PuzzledPanda just posturing forward with the Behemoth, can play and be a bit more confident. InkLegend does not have Stoneforge Soul for this one. Rocket Rookie starting up this second Fangtooth. The Boulder looking for the connection. Good use of the Void Bomb. Going to stop it, and that's going to be a freeze frame right there. It's going to go in, and actually it's going to be secure. No, that's the tower going down. I got ahead of myself. It's Rocket Rookies finding that kill on towards the Fangtooth, the second of the game, and now they're looking for the play. InkLegend going forward with the AoE. He's got his Fennec. He's going to bring him back. They're still looking for the pick. Silox still pushing on the right-hand side. Omelette Du Baguette trying to retreat. They're trying to get away. Stoneforge Soul can't find a connection. They get the second Fangtooth.
Succeeded on the second Fangtooth, but at what cost? Several was able to split push the entire time, getting a T1 and a T2, able to get some more stacks as well, and that's a lot of farm going over to that Severov. But Rocket Rookies in the lead with those Fangtooth, 2-0. If they get that third one, it will all be worth it. But as of right now, that Severov is starting to get himself into a better stage of the game, and I think that third Fangtooth is going to be a little bit harder fight. And once again, Rocket Rookies unable to secure a kill going over towards Omelette Du Baguette because they're just able to appeal themselves. The mobility coming out of the characters, Rocket Boots on Decker, the leap from Panda, and just the ability to use the gadget and Sticky Mines as a zoning tool is just incredible.
Tarkraf Requiem having to be careful here. Subject going to connect on towards the Quang. And use the light, try and get the shield, looking for the ultimate. I think they got interrupted, but the reversal going to come down. They're going to try and fight this. Mugi going very low. Tarkraf Requiem starting to swing, starting to find the damage. They're going to get the first kill on towards Mugiwawa. Samwise chasing down PuzzledPanda with the Razorback popped, but that's going to be a second kill. Double picked up for Tarkraf Requiem. Silox, no mana. Hams get away, but SimmyGoesHard looking for the play in between the towers. The seismic assault going to find its mark, and that's Silox going down. Rocket Rookies finally on the board with 3 kills. Gak and Kira Stardust in a 1v1, not finding the kills there. The Rocket Rookies finally on the board.
Finally able to make something work, and that was a great Muriel all coming in. Reversal of Fortune just to be able to get that going. Speed gate drop to kind of peel for the gadget, peel for herself, able to get that thwarted out of there. But what a rotation. Rocket Rookies looking like they're not out yet. Still here, still able to fight.
Yeah, and especially playing around Tarkraf Requiem once again, with the constant push in that right-hand side, and also the rotations being made as well, that Kwang starting to find the impact that the Rocket Rookies were looking for. 18 minutes, approaching that 20-minute mark as well, and with the levels under their belts and with some items being completed, Gak going for his tried and tested innovation we spoke about. He likes to mix his builds up. Next has been picked as the crest item, Vanquisher, Deathstalker going to be that second item as well. So Gak's going to start hitting like a truck in these fights.
A little bit of extra attack speed as well with that Deathstalker, but Tarkraf Requiem over here on top of the dual lane again. We've been seeing able to be in the rotations. The tether lands, knockup misses though, but still on the chase, on the hunt.
The same defense comes down from Mugi, able to buy time, and Kira trying to get away. The slow lands from Samwise with the bonus damage. Underneath the tower we go, and that's Tarkraf Requiem finding it. Seismic Assault connecting onto Mugi once again, but 4 members make that 5. Huge collapse in the left-hand side, but Omelette Du Baguette going to answer back, taking down tier 1. And with Romawear marshalling these minions in, they're going to look to try and take a second tier 2. And Rocket Rookies only getting a 1 kill. They've been a little bit caught out on the momentum here.
Yeah, these macro decisions are not the thing here working for Omelette Du Baguette, or sorry, for Rocket Rookies, as they're able to get a T2 down on Omelette Du Baguette. They're using these 5-man rotations, and a tether lands on top of the Sevarog, though, might not be the greatest thing you want, as they're able to get that T2 down.
Good boulder comes out on towards InkLegend, but now in the retreat, Seismic Assault through the wall as well. Blink coming out from Silox. Tesla Dome going to be used as well, but not finding the value. Rocket Rookies just run straight through it. They don't even care about the damage coming out. They are able to push Omelette Du Baguette away, but couldn't find the lockdown. So with that 1 kill, it is going to be 2 towers dropping. That is a lot of gold in Omelette Du Baguette's pocket.
This might be that substantial amount of gold to turn these next team fights into their favor. But I do like what Rocket Rookies are doing right now. They saw that in the early game, them just being by themselves did not work out. So they started to group together, started to use that mirror ult, started to use Requiem to be able to rotate it, since he does have that pressure a little bit inside that off lane, and to be able to rotate and get these fights. But that's going to be costing them a lot of towers. They've already gotten 5 towers on the side of Omelette Du Baguette. Rocket Rookies need to be careful, because one bad mistake, they might be able to lose an inhibitor.
That's going to crack open the base as well. But with these team fights, Rocket Rookies have been making them a lot closer, and seems to have been their composition starting to make some moves here as well. Gak able to push out the right-hand side, reset, and go for this fight, looking for the third Fang tube. It's going to be started by Omelette Du Baguette. InkLegend's in the middle of it all, can't get the ultimate off, and that's Jungler down. Tarkraf Requiem is here. Big mode popped by the Behemoth as a reversal comes out to get Samwise away. Not probably the target they were looking for. They're stuck inside the pits. They can't get away, and Omelette Du Baguette just cashing in on the kills, getting the neutral as well. They're going to secure it, picking off 3 members once again. Gak still free firing, tries to get his name in lights. He's at least able to get 1, but can't find the multi-kill, and Samwise the only one left. Maybe able to make a hero play, but the boulder coming out from PuzzledPanda. Samwise going for the blink with a concentrated round, trying to find the kill, but there's no damage available, and Silox just phantom rushes away. It goes down as a team wipe as InkLegend finally gets back on the board.
My word, TJ. That has the extra goal that we were just talking about. Able to put the tides in the favor of Omelette Du Baguette, as they actually take a great team fight there. InkLegend went in by himself, unable to get the ultimate off Stoneforge Soul, not able to save that soul at that time. And with the jungler down, they just kind of had the advantage in that fight. They didn't necessarily have to just kind of focus onto the objective right away. They had the smite available, and with that in hand, the big Sevarog able to just provide the health bar to be able to take as much damage, to be able to kind of win that fight overall, as they got picked off 1 by 1 after that. And with a huge fight win like that, Omelette Du Baguette looking like they're turning their eyes onto the other side of the map, as we do have the big prime up, 23 minutes.
See PuzzledPanda trying to get a pick on towards Tarkraf Requiem before making any more forays towards the neutral. Stun's going to land, so does the subjugate as well. Good follow-up as well from Tarkraf Requiem. The sword is in the ground. He's looking to try and run away. Going to maybe look to ult back, but he's got his sword back in hand, and now he's stuck in the middle of the jungle. Camps for InkLegend is here, providing that AoE damage. But the Kwang is still the target. The prioritization, the focus fire is there. But this Kwang is moving on them with the Lights of the Heavens, the shield. It looks like Kwang might be able to get away as the rest of the team starting to arrive. The Kwang is going to drop. Romawear getting the kill, but they bought so much time, and the Rocket Rookies reinforcements have arrived. Stoneforge Soul comes out, gives InkLegend a new lease on life, but they can't find that lockdown just yet. It might just be only a 1-for-1, but SimmyGoesHard, all eyes on them to find the seismic assault. Stun's going to land over on the left-hand side. Gak takes down Kira Stardust, but we're stuck here on the right-hand side as the Rocket Rookies looking to clean up houses. PuzzledPanda takes down his opposite jungler, but now he's the one that might be caught out. He's able to get away. No further CC available, but as the Rocket Rookies are finding the kills, and so does Omelette Du Baguette, it's a 2-for-2 across the map.
Great trade there. Actually in the favor of the Rocket Rookies, able to get that pressure out inside of the duo lane. Gap being able to pick up the solo bolo against Kira, and that might be a tier 2. A little bit more gold on the side of the Rocket Rookies, but he needs to turn tail and run here. One stasis ball, and that might be it for Gak, as we do see Mugi, but Samwise is here though, as they're trying to hunt down, maybe get something out.
Yeah, Mugi actually going to jump down the stairs, but wasn't perhaps counting on Samwise being at the right place and the right time to stop that. And that play is going to fall apart. But already, you know, we had that big team fight win at the Fangtooth pit for Omelette Du Baguette. But Rocket Rookies doing such a good job. But even though they have the structured deficit, we thought, you know, one lost team fight, and that's going to be inhibitors broken open, the core going to be exposed. But Rocket Rookies have been making these team fights pretty close. You know, Omelette Du Baguette just haven't been able to transition that in towards any meaningful siege.
No, one of the big things is Gak is getting online. He has that Demolisher online. He has a Death Stalker. He has a lot of pen in his kit. So now this Rampage and this Sebrog is not a big thing. We haven't necessarily seen him in the fight, though. We've actually kind of just seen Tarkraf Requiem here kind of being the big damage dealer, even though he's kind of just having that Fire Blossom. But the fact that he has the double magic resistance, able to fight into that gadget, into that Sebrog a little bit longer, allows for him just to have that sustained damage. So he's been a very key part of this team. But with Gak being able to get himself a little bit more online now, I think when they start to group up for the next 5v5 fight, it's going to change a lot.
Yeah, Omelette Du Baguette will have to respect that coming out of the Rocket Rookies ADC. So Mugi might be able to find a pick onto SimmyGoesHard. Void Bomb going to come down. There's a Stasis Bomb that's going to land, and there's a CC. There's the lockup, and goodbye to the Rocket Rookies. Mid laner Simmy is down. So it's going to be for this next fight, a 4 versus 5, but Tarkraf Requiem is here. Tether is going to connect on towards Romawear, but it's only the Kwang. See InkLegend making the move over. Gak is here. So is Samwise. It's just the one kill, though, on towards Simmy.
Here's the one kill, but as a huge pick. They have another 30 seconds before Belka spawns back in. If InkLegend doesn't be careful here, you might have to back. And that might be a good window for Omelette Du Baguette to look over, as they're the ones taking the reset over at this big or prime. But with the Primordial Fangtooth up as well, it's a very dangerous call. Which one do you go for? Do you have the time to get both of them? And what's the right call to be made? As we do see them looking over at the big prime, but with Tarkraf over on the opposite side, this might be the numbers advantage that they need. But with InkLegend still here, it's still a 50-50 battle. If able to get that smite off, you might be able to steal this.
All 5 members are in the pit. Mugi now going to start to zone away. They know where InkLegend is. The containment fence comes down. The slow from the Seek and Destroy or Prime going to be secured cleanly. And now they're going to look for the fight afterwards. PuzzledPanda goes big. We're going to find the boulder on towards Simmy. Is into that jungle corridor we go. They're trying to find the pick, trying to find that lockdown. And it's actually going to go the other way as Mugiwawa goes too far forward and is able to be punished. And now Omelette Du Baguette looking to retreat. Going to keep your Prime on as many members as possible. PuzzledPanda might be the next target. The Tether, the Judgment is going to land. There's the Surge. The knockup takes the boulder out of the Rampage's pocket. And look at the CC coming out. And that's going to be Gak finding the 4th kill on the board. That's all Prime off of 2 members as Omelette Du Baguette finally get away.
They get away indeed, and that was just not the right play there. You got the Ore Prime. Primordial Fangtooth is up. You kind of want to take that reset there and look towards taking a fight after you just got this amount of gold. You got this huge buff. Take your 5 members back and look towards taking a reset to go to the objective. Did not do that and got picked off by Mugi, and then being able to pick up the jungler. And now that Rampage is down for another 20 seconds, it's going to be a hard objective for them to try and steal. But they are looking low on the side of Rocket Rookies. A lot of resources have been spent already as well.
Yeah, Mugi's on the way. Silox leading the charge as the Primal Fangtooth is going to be secured. 3rd one as well, getting the stacking buffs. Tarkraf Requiem finding the Tether on towards Romawear. Porting is out. Tesla Dome just not going to do a lot of damage at all as everyone runs away. But now Simmy's got to be careful as Kira's starting to find the damage. As Silox goes forward, the blink, looking for a colossal blow. SimmyGoesHard actually going to get the reversal of fortune. Gak finds kill on towards Mugi. They're still on the hunt, and Silox in a bad position. The water gun comes out, going to find the kill on towards the Sevarog as Rocket Rookies have liftoff. They're in the ascendancy and they're looking to take away all the members. They're going to find 4. PuzzledPanda comes up, but can only watch as his team fall down.
And the Rocket Rookies played that as perfect as they possibly could, able to pick off one by one. Omelette Du Baguette just ran in there. They're hoping to probably get the steal, but with the rampage down was not in their favor as Rocket Rookies able to clean them up, and that's just a great fight. We did talk about that test them, unable to do anything, unable to get there in time to toss that on top of the objective, possibly try and steal it. Rocket Rookies look like they are now in control of this game as Omelette Du Baguette had the entire 15 to 20 minutes into their hands, as now we're going to see what they're going to be able to do as Gak goes off to PuzzledPanda with the mirror behind.
Red round's going to be popped and just immediately respectfully be blinked away by PuzzledPanda, but that's going to make some of these objective plays maybe a little bit less risky for, more risky, should I say, for that rampage without having to blink to get into them. We're going to have a bit of a lull state. Of course, your Prime was taken. Primal Fangtooth as well picked up for the side of the Rocket Rookies. I'm expecting Omelette Du Baguette not to try and start any fights, maybe just go play defense for a couple of minutes, but this gives time for Rocket Rookies to start leaving their mark on the map. As you said, it was a rough 10 to 15 minutes, but they're finally starting to find liftoff.
They're going to definitely need to be defending here. They don't want to push into this primordial blaze. It does hurt and does burn. They're just going to need to kind of get these waves in a nice little sequential order to where they're coming in one by one, able to use the gadget to clear the wave. They don't want to take any fights. They want to stay in a nice defensive position as the rock does land. But with this Muriel shield starting to come into play, just a huge amount. It's just going to be intense. We do see the Sevarog, though, trying to find Tarkraf as he's doing another bait tactic as he's done before.
The Kurosawa just having to be careful. Look, they're going to try and find a pick. And that's actually the Twin Blast dropping down. Tesla don't use, but a reversal comes out from Samwise, popping the heal again. And Gak is able to benefit from that. He's on the right-hand side, being placed so far forward next to dash away from the damage. And underneath this inhibitor, we're going to go. The Omelette Du Baguette will be doing this with only 3 members, of course, with Kira down and also Romawear dropping. That's a lot of wave clear just out of Omelette Du Baguette's pockets. And Rocket Rookies going to keep this siege up and keep this pressure.
Yeah, but with the primordial blaze finally running out here, they might be able to defend this. There's not a lot of pressure that they have now with that. They have some tanky boys. If they are unable to get hit by Gak, they should be okay, but maybe being able to get something on the side is rough as land, but Inhibitor does go down.
They're going to look for more. Tarkraf Requiem leading the charge. Going to get the knock-up on towards PuzzledPanda, and the Panda is down. He's out of the fight. Gak with the shrapnel cannon. Going to find the kill onto Silox with the Wastelander passive. And now this base has been cracked open and is just waiting for the Rocket Rookies to claim it. But 3 members are going to be back up. Kira is back. So is Romawear. The wave clear is here. And it looks like the Rocket Rookies are going to respect that. They're going to back away because there's still more towers to be taken. They're going to look for this next siege as mid lane inhibitors going to drop on the right side. Maybe going to make it a clean sweep and a hat trick of inhibitors to try and make this close a bit easier.
Man, they're able to pick up a lot there. We saw that Vanquisher coming into play. Gak is on the attack here as he's now the big key element. We said if he had a bad game, it's going to be a little bit rough, but he's now back into the swing of motions. They're not going to be able to pressure out that right inhib as they don't have a lot of mana and a lot of health left to really take that fight as the big objectives are coming back in. Looking like they're on the retreat. But man, what a sequence of events. They're able to kind of just bait out Omelette Du Baguette. We're seeing Requiem able to kind of just take these fights. And since he's so tanky, they're like, maybe we can kill him. He's out of position. But the team just rotates. And with that reversal of fortune, it's just a huge turn fight or fight turner in whenever it's being applied.
Yeah, I mean, Samwise using those reversals, as you say, he's been on the right target near enough every single time. I think that first Fangtooth fight where it all went wrong for the Rocket Rookies, I think maybe that might have been the cause for a potential misclick of Samwise, but behind the pit, not into it. But We can see where we are now at 33 minutes in. Rocket Rookie's still in the game and still in control as Omelette Du Baguette, their base currently in tatters at the moment. They have to deal with the minions in mid lane, deal with the left-hand side as well. And now these neutrals are going to be spawning once again to provide yet more flashpoints for some more fighting. PuzzledPanda moving into the mid lane, trying to maybe look towards Samwise, but has got reversal. Maybe trying to force out the ultimate as Tarkraf Requiem. Just going to wait around, sitting on the ward. But a lot of grouping up here in the mid lane. They can still move towards either side.
They need to focus this CAC, though, inside these fights. They need to get him down. They also need to stop focusing the Quang because he's been causing a lot of resources to be pulled out. Using the Decker to kind of have that. But we see the Ore Prime being pulled, and looks like it's going to be an objective or objective as the Primordial Blaze is there as well. And that's going to go pretty rough because with that Primordial Blaze this late into the game, that's a huge game changer. But with the Ore Prime, they're going to have a little bit of help from the minions to keep their base a little bit more protected as the minions are a little bit healthier.
Giving them that defensive option as well. Didn't think I'd be saying that sentence when it comes to an Ore Prime, but that might be just what they need just to keep the minion waves alive a little bit longer. Really good containment defense coming out there from Mugi. Completely cut off that entire highway of the jungle, but now Tarkraf Requiem going to look for the judgments of the heavens. Not going to find the highlight play, but SimmyGoesHard pushing forward as Omelette Du Baguette didn't reset. They're actually running back to base completely. Boulder is out from PuzzledPanda. Going to be knocked up. Has to drop it and back away. As the siege going to start to come out. Again, Rocket Rookies with the Primordial Blaze in their hearts. And it's Omelette Du Baguette with the Orb Prime buff. Objective for objective. 34 minutes, approaching 35. As the Rocket Rookies are looking to try and close out this game.
Indeed, they are. They're having the wave kind of only crashing one by one. They might not have enough as they're doing their best. One tether lands, it's not going to be a good day. If they're able to get the chain CC off, it's going to be rough. But right now, Omelette Du Baguette have the wave in their advantage. They're able to get it one by one. Those kind of slowly flow in. Right lane inhib is also not down, so they kind of have that pressure as it's slow pushing towards Rocket Rookies, and they're kind of in the best position they could possibly be here. They just need to hold out and just wait for the right opportunity.
Gonna go forward, the Fury of the Heavens. Look at the damage, and as Mugiwawa gone, support is down. There's a Tesla Dome trying to buy some space, but the core is open. The core is exposed, and Gaki's just shooting into it. Omelette Du Baguette losing 2 as PuzzledPanda's gonna drop, but Rocket Rookie's eyes on the prize. The core is the target. The core is what's gonna go down, and game 1 is gonna go to the side of Rocket Rookies.